Welcome to another episode of Measured, and thank you for joining us today. Today, we're going to be talking about AI, how to track your visitors that are coming, the different metrics that they are. A whole point of this episode is really that there's not just one easy tool, one easy place that you can go and get your report. There's different places, but we also don't want you just to only look at the traffic that's landing there, more kind of realizing that there's mentions, citations, the pages, different things that we have found that are getting tracked better in AI. We'll have our featured project. I actually will show you a couple screens inside analytics that kind of show you where you can at least see your referral traffic. We do get that question quite a bit from customers that are wanting to go in and kind of find that a little bit of the data on their own. I will have a few different places you can go to try to track your own data. We'll have our customer question and end with our featured project. So the first thing that we're going to talk about is that AI visibility is more than just referral traffic. And when we think about visibility and you think about SEO as a whole, when we talk about SEO, you will have your keywords, your impressions, so how many times they were seen, how many times they were clicked, that they came through. All that can be tracked inside your Google Search Console on what people are actually searching for and finding you on, and then coming into your site. And so that's kind of the whole point of this, is realizing that we're not just going to only tell you to look at your referral traffic, because you will have those mentions, you will have those citations, so those cited pages, and there's different programs, online sites that you can go to, and we'll get to those here when we keep going through, that can help you see kind of what you were found for. And sometimes we realize for customers, it doesn't fully make sense that they are being shown for those words or the phrase, but they are, and where it's coming into on your site. So the first thing is that AI measurability or visibility is more than referral traffic. And one part of that is just kind of knowing how to see your referral traffic. And we get asked quite a bit from customers all of our customers that want access into their analytics account, it's theirs. So some will have it when they come to us. A lot of them don't. And even when we do a new site for you here, and if you're not a marketing customer, we still turn on Google Analytics for you now, just because it seems like over time, most people come back and want to know what is actually happening on their site if they're doing anything for marketing. So if you're just listening to the podcast, you won't be able to see the screen. But if you are on YouTube and watching, I just pulled up a customer's analytics account. All their data, you won't see their name or anything. And when we get to the next screen, there's some stuff that's blurred out to keep their privacy. But I just wanted to walk through a quick little report that you could use on your own to see your referral traffic. So the whole point is that we want you to track more than that when it comes to your AI visibility. But the referral traffic is one easy thing that you can do yourself inside your analytics account. So inside reports, and I'm already inside the report. So the first thing on the left I highlighted in yellow was this is an acquisition report. And then if you drop down this is a traffic acquisition report. And one of the big things that you'd have to change is the modifier. So when a default comes in, this one was set to be the session primary channel, default channel group. And so when you would have clicked on that traffic acquisition report, it would have defaulted into that option. And we're just telling you to drop down and choose session, source, and then medium. And when you do that, you will be able to see, there's tons of different things on this screen, but you'll start seeing all that referral traffic and where they're coming from. And then you can go and find like ChatGPT, Gemini, Perplexity, whether it was just Google itself for the AI mode, and it will all just kind of show up on its own, and you'd be able to go in and determine. And one thing I do want to tell people is that, and you may not be that familiar with Google Analytics, and you may be extremely familiar with Google Analytics, but we highly just recommend that when you're running any of these reports in Google Analytics, that you filter to the country of United States. So you're only seeing US traffic, because really beyond that, it may not matter depending on who you are, what you do. But a lot of our customers who are very much just dealing with people within their region, or just, I should say beyond, or just in the United States alone. Like if they won't ship beyond the United States, we really just kind of filter that traffic down just so they know on what is happening within the US. And your numbers will be different, especially if you're just looking at like your direct and organic. But even with this report that I'm looking at, it did fluctuate. And when you are looking at some of those other reports on your sites and mentions, you will be mentioned in other countries. So don't feel like that is something that is going to be odd or rare. Most of all of them that we're keeping track of for customers are falling outside of the US. Not a huge component of it, but they're there, and we normally leave those. So like that one alone that we were just looking at, I wouldn't say it doubled if we would have not turned on the United States one, but it was close. But for me and for our customers, I would rather have you have an actual sense of the traffic that's coming that may be relevant for you versus just throwing everything out there. And so it is just a little bit messy for you to kind of fully understand all of the AI tracking. And so there's different platforms out there that I kind of mentioned, and I'm just going to read these off. It's Peak AI, and Peak is Peec AI, Otterly AI, Profound, and LLM Pulse. LLM, which we've talked about in a different episode, is large language model, which ChatGPT would be an LLM. And so those are just a few different options for you if you are wanting to track this all on your own. So as an agency like us, if we are helping you with your SEO or AI SEO or your GEO, everyone calls it a little bit different. So I'm just going to throw all those out there. We do that all for you and provide you that information. But if you're just listening and you're wanting to track your own and you're wondering, what do I use? How do I do it? Well, Google Analytics is free and you'd be able to go see your referral traffic. But the large thing we want to push just in this episode is you realizing all the other opportunities that will come, and that you just get to understand what people are searching for, how you're showing up to that, and then the pages that they're coming in on. And a big component for that is that we have noticed with a lot of our customers is that the pages that are being marked more as informational are the pages that are having the most citations inside AI. And a lot of the times that for us, we do a lot of blogs for our customers, but they're usually more on the informational side. Those are usually what are grabbing the most AI citations for almost all of our customers. Awesome for us, but what does that kind of tell us is that we really got to pay attention to like what your page is doing. So yes, it's great that we're getting those citations on those blogs and we want you to come into the site no matter what. But for instance, this customer is a service-based customer. And so it's how can we adjust that content on their main page or main services pages so that they can actually find exactly what they're doing for them. And FAQs, really, so writing in conversational format, we've talked about that, having those frequently asked questions, defining a problem, giving a solution, teaching someone something useful. I mean, blogs a lot of times are around a topic of how you could do something better, or these are the best things you could do for this. It is kind of thinking in that format, but for your just service content. And most people don't think that way when they are putting their content together. But really that whole message, and we talk about messaging all the time, if you can pull all that together, it is such a win. And for the informational side, there's different types of how format or content gets tagged. I don't take that. That might not be the proper term, so don't hate on me if I was wrong. But there's usually commercial, transactional, informational. I feel like I'm missing one. And so I'm not sure if I said commercial or not, but it is just getting your content to the place that it needs to be. So if it is currently citing more informational content, that you're getting a focus in on that. Now, you're going to have time that you have products that you want that transactional. And if someone is looking for an exact product and you have that, that is awesome. That is perfect. But right now, a lot of people are going to a large language model like ChatGPT or Gemini, asking a question, looking for an answer. And so that shift hasn't really changed where that informational. Now, that is just something that we have noticed internally for our customers. So if someone else has something different, great. But what we are seeing and what we have been finding in all of our data is that informational content is just winning with AI and the AI citations. And the best thing is too, is that you have people all over searching all different things, and just kind of like a long tail keyword, which a long tail keyword, you have to think of like you have a word, boat hoist. So long tail keyword would be like the best boat hoist for whatever boat you have. That's a long tail keyword. Those still happen with AI. So you have these different wins on these different topics, but they are very much correlated together. And the more that you can see, and then when you get into some of those programs that we mentioned, they will give you like trending or topic based ideas. So if you are wanting to find more, be in there more, they help you with that information. Now, I have met with one of our customers who always is not afraid to do more, be more, all the different things. And I will tell you that although this informational is doing so much better, it doesn't, and this was a big part of one of our different episodes, I just strongly suggest just posting more doesn't mean that you're going to be cited more. So you still have to have that strong quality content. You still want to build that topic authority. So don't just go and throw a million blogs that are all AI generated. Those aren't going to truly help you in the end. We have all the data that kind of shows that. To back that, we've had that in a couple different episodes. So if you're listening to this, come up with a plan. Be strategic about it. Don't just go and create all these AI generated blogs to just put on your site. That's not going to help you. Have that human element. Talk about that all the time, that there is still so much value in that. Writing as the conversational format, but when you write to actually describe something, and when you read something described by AI, normally you can tell, not always, but it's just having your content in a format that another human is going to easily be able to read and enjoy. And then obviously you're answering that question. So informational has been a large component of the wins for AI for us. And we enjoy sharing that with people. We enjoy finding it when it is a little bit different, but so far from most of our SEO customers, that has just been that common trend. So data tells you that the visibility is real. And as things keep changing, your traffic will change as well. Obviously, the more times you're cited, the more times you're mentioned, the more opportunities you have for people to come to your site. And so trying to understand that, and then what you're going to do with that traffic when they arrive, that's about anything with a website, is that you're sending people to your site, and then what? Having that then what is absolutely important. On a couple of our customers' sites, on their blogs, we've really started to do more call to actions, knowing that for an AI component that they're really landing in on there. And so they're not getting to, I shouldn't say they're not getting to, but we don't fully know if they're getting to all the pages that we really need to get them on. And so it's making sure that we have the right call to actions in the right spots that are very relevant to what that blog is about. So again, you're just taking extra time to do the work to get people to the right place. And that will just help your data overall get people to spend more time on your site, have higher engagement rates all the way through. And don't let a report, so if you're only tracking one component, like if you're only looking at the referral traffic, like that is going to be misleading for you to you thinking that AI is not that important. So make sure that if you're working with an agency or you're doing it on your own, that you go find your mentions, you go find your citations, you realize the topics that you're being mentioned in on, the pages that they're coming to, and realize building a plan and a structure from there, and then going and creating that more content. That is like the biggest thing I just don't take away, is that don't just go throw out tons and tons of what you think is informational content, because that long shot may work for you, but I just don't think that is the right answer for anyone. But that we're a firm believer, and this even comes when we're working with Google Ads, like going and making drastic changes or going and throwing up like 30 some new pieces of content in a month. I wouldn't do that for anyone. And I have argued with a couple customers about it, but we keep seeing strong, steady growth in the plans that we have in place. So yes, I think there's always a time and a place to adjust a plan and keep growing from there. But I also think that Google is smarter than just seeing your site maximize times 30 every single month over month. I mean, I just don't buy it. And I do get questioned about it, but so far our technique and what we have been doing has just been a strong, steady growth month over month. And I just encourage you to create a plan, test your plan, and then grow with that plan. Like, that is the best options for you. So when you come back to wanting to track AI, look at your referral traffic. You're going to have to find an AI tool that does different types of monitoring. So like we'd mentioned, it is a little bit messy. There's not just a one fits all sort of place that you can go and see absolutely everything. But I think over time that will change, or they will start pulling in your Google Analytics. So it'll start seeing the different traffic that you're actually getting from it. And that is not estimated traffic. Also pay attention if it does say estimated traffic, because they're just guessing, or it's like an average of the number of people that they feel like should be coming to your site based on the number of times you were seen or the number of mentions that you have. Like, there was one of them that had a monthly audience, and it was an insane number. And it was like not a chance did that many people come to our site. And they didn't, because you could go look at your Google Analytics and know you didn't have that referral traffic. So just understand that there's different ways that AI tracking is not the cleanest thing yet. It will get there, but don't just pay attention to one metric. Make sure that you're looking at all those different signals and making your plans from there, and not just your referral traffic. And kind of with that, we're going to move into our customer question. And it's kind of a twofold. It relates a little bit to this episode, but not all the way. So on screen, we have, should we focus more on our website or our marketing? Now, we are a web agency, and I talk about that all the time. They have to work together. Not one is more important than the other, but if you are spending all this time and money, let's say you're running radio, let's say you have different print out there, you may be running Google ads, you may be running Facebook ads, all these different things, 99% of the time, the people are going to end up, you need to send them somewhere. If you're really trying to track their data or grab their data from them, or you're trying to glean some sort of information from them, you got to send them somewhere. And that is just where I think your website is such a huge component of any marketing plan. Because if you have a weak website with weak messaging and you're spending all this money driving people to it, there is just, there's that void of where one is more important than the other. I think they need to work extremely well together. Marketing kind of gets your people to your site, and your website converts them. So if your conversion tool is weak or your marketing is weak, I think you fail on both ends. So biggest takeaway, have them both be strong. Don't be afraid to invest in your website. Everyone right now is so focused on their marketing plans or their marketing budget and all these different things. And then I pull up their website and think, well, we should redo your site first, or we need to at least update your messaging. I've mentioned this many times. An absolute gorgeous site with weak messaging does not outbeat a blank site or a simple site with awesome messaging. So it doesn't mean that everything has to be scratched, but it is just taking the time to look at what strategy did you even put into your site to start with, to then know what can we change to make this better. And we'll be honest with you, we always are. It's just how we are here at 154i, but don't be afraid to question your site when you are just looking at your overall marketing component. And then the last thing that we have for you today is our featured project. We just launched Geyer Orthodontics this week, and they got a new brand. So we got to incorporate their new logo and colors and fonts throughout. They have 4 locations throughout Northwest Iowa. They are in Spencer, Sheldon, Storm Lake, and Spirit Lake. They can be found at GeyerOrthodontics.com. They're family owned, board certified. Can't go wrong. One of my kids has just got their braces on. So it was good timing. And obviously, a lot of people's children have braces. So highly recommend checking out Geyer Orthodontics if you're in the Northwest Iowa area and you are needing braces. That is all we have for you today. Please like, comment, and subscribe on whichever platform you're tuning in on, and we'll catch you next time.